Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Southeast Striper Report with Henry Cowen. How you doing, Henry?
My man, Mr. Cash. How are you tonight?
I'm living the dream as usual, Henry.
Well, good. You know, we're living the dream. Spring has sprung, as we say here in Georgia. And we're living the dream, too. The fishing has just been off the charts right now, Marvin. We're having our best spring in the last 4 years consistently.
Well, that's great because I know I've talked to you in the past at kind of late shows or after show season, and you talk about how the season hasn't been so good.
Yep, and that's been true. And, you know, the big difference this year over the previous 4 years, or the previous 3 years, I should say, is we are having more consistent weather. We're not having front after front after front after front after front every 3, 4, 5 days. Another cold front, some rain behind that, wind blows, and just throws these fish off. These fish like consistency. Stripers want, they want steady, eddy kind of weather, and they just want consistency and a warm up of the temperatures. So that's what we're seeing this year, and because of that, March and April has just been outstanding. I mean, we've had a couple of blips. We had 2 inches. 2 weeks ago we had about 6 inches, 5, 6 inches of rain up here. And a lot of Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama got it, and it threw the fishing off. But the fish recovered, and they're eating with reckless abandon. And now our fish in the lakes are making their run up the rivers to do their spawn. So there's still plenty of fish in the lake because they don't all run up at the same time. But there's big schools in my lake running up the Chattahoochee and the Chestatee. So you have lots of choices right now as an angler as to whether you want to fish your lake or whether you want to go up and fish the rivers this time of year. So that's kind of what we're doing. And the way that works is the big females will make their run up the river. And while they're doing that, the males will sit on the points up shallow, waiting for those females to come by, and then they'll just follow the females upriver. So if you're fishing the lake and not running straight up the river, you want to be fishing shallow and in the points right now. That's the best bite I can offer as far as advice that you'll see in lake situations throughout the Southeast.
Yeah, got it. And you've got another moon event coming up too, right?
We do. We have the moon coming up on Monday. So we're on the upside of the new moon. We've got a massive cold front coming through tomorrow into Thursday morning, and then we've got 2 inches of rain on Saturday. So unfortunately, we're going to lose some of our top-notch bite this week with those two events.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably going to be better to be on the water Monday or Tuesday, right?
No question. Next week, I think being on the post moon, I would say you're better off being on the moon the following week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days after, only because the weather events are going to affect our moon phase this week.
Got it. And we got a really interesting question from Matt, and Matt's getting ready to head up and fish the rivers, off of Lake Lanier. And, his question is, he understands that stripers traditionally eat smaller forage when they're in the lakes, and then they just basically eat anything they can put in their mouths when they get in the rivers. And he was wondering if for fresh stripers, fresh off the lake in the river system, is it better to target them with a smaller fly that looks like what they've been eating in the lakes, or do you need to go big and go river?
So the answer to that question is go big or go home. You want to be throwing bigger flies right now. When those fish are getting up in the river, they generally will eat a little bit bigger bait this time of year. So those itty-bitty threads that you're fishing in the lake, you need to just abandon them and start fishing gizzard patterns, because that's what's going to be found mostly up the river, as well as any other juvenile fish that are up there, like small bass or whatnot. So I would tell you, you're better off, like right now, my hot fly up the river is without a doubt, it's a polar changer, chocolate polar changer with 2 hooks, the stinger on the back. That's my best fly right now up the river. When I'm coming down, when those fish, after give those fish a week or two to spawn up there, and when they come down, once again, I'd stay with the bigger fly. I am not fishing that 1 to 2 inch shad anymore. That is, for now, that's a done deal, and I probably won't get back to that. If I'm lucky, I won't get back to that until October next year. At the end, I mean this year, but I mean my next season, which starts in mid end of September, and they'll start getting on that itty bitty bait in October again.
Got it. And what size game changer?
What size game changer did you say?
Yeah. What, about 6 inches?
Yeah, I'd say 5 inches, give or take, 5 to 5.5. 6 would be okay too. But for me, anything 5 to 6 inches on the game, a feathered changer or a polar changer is what I'll be fishing now. And I'll have my intermediate line and my sinking line, my fast sink, to be fishing up the rivers. Some of our river systems up by us, when they're not way, way up into the shoals, you can be in 6-7 feet of water, and sometimes a fast sinking line can still be a better bet for you. But I always start with the intermediate this time of year, because those fish are just, they are rubbing their bellies in the sand up on the banks right now. That's what they're doing.
Got it. And folks, we love questions at the Articulate Fly, and next time is going to be our last Southeast Striper report. So you have one more shot to get a question in for Henry to get entered into the drawing for a signed copy of his book. And you can email those to us. You can send them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page, and we'll do it like we always do. If we pick your question, I'll send you some Articulate Fly swag, and you'll get entered the drawing. And we're going to draw next time. And, Henry, I know you're getting ready to shift, I guess, to what, spotted bass on the surface and carp for the summer. So, why don't you let folks know where they can find you so they can get on your guide calendar?
Well, if they want to give us a shout, they can call us at 678-513-1934, or they can go to the webpage at www.henrycowenflyfishing.com, and you can email me from there, and we'd love to take you out. Marvin, I'll leave you with this. You know how much I love stripers, and I will tell you that as far as I'm concerned, striper season can't end quick enough. I am so stoked to take out the towee, get the pole back on the skiff, and start pulling around in 12 inches of water for the golden bonefish, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand you're absolutely eaten up with carp fishing now.
I am. I really am. I just love them, and they cook real well too. I don't know if you've ever eaten a carp, but the best way is you fillet the carp and you cook it on a wooden board, and you put salt, pepper, and onions on the board, and you cook it on top of the board, and after about 12 minutes, you throw away the carp fillet and you eat the board.
That's why I thought you were going with that one.
Anyway, that's my story for this week, Marvin.
Well, there you go. Well, look, folks, it looks like the fishing is going to be better on the other side of the moon, so if you have a chance, get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Henry.
Thanks, Marvin. You take care.
Will do.